Today's date is November the 11th, 2020. I am interviewing Miss Opal Pannell out of Commerce, Texas. Miss Pannell, you're a legend in your community. Can you tell me about your life and growing up in Needlerville, Texas?
I was born in Needlerville, Texas. I attended school at Needlerville, finished school at Needlerville. We were the family of 7.
Mm-hmm.
I had 5 brothers
Mm-hmm.
and 8, and 3 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
After I finished school, I went to Java Christian College
Mm-hmm.
and went with a scholarship of basketball. And then staying at Java Christian College 2 years, they offered me another scholarship at Butler College.
Uh-huh.
So I went over to Butler College and went there until my senior year. And then there was a course I needed to take in order to finish. So then I went a summer at Waco, Paul Queen. So I went to summer school at Paul Queen. I can't remember what course it was. So then after that, then I came home for the summer. But when I was in high school, I worked at ET, cafeteria. At this time, ET was ET, wasn't university. I worked in the cafeteria. They had one cafeteria. And I worked there, and every summer they would give us to work. We worked there. And Needlerville was a well-known population. At St. Paul, we had our own superintendent, black. We had 5 school buses. Each school bus had 100 students on there. We traveled from Roanoke, Emory Point, Center Point, Jacoby, Celeste, all these different places picking up children. St. Paul was well 12th grade. We had chemistry, we had chemistry, we had biology, homemaking, culture, shorthand, typing. We had all of that. And we always had a good basketball team. We always won champion. Then I got I went to Fairview for track. I won third. I think it was 3rd place. There were so many people. I think it was 3rd place that I went to Fairview. And then one year we had what you call a test on homemaking. And I won 1st place in that sewing. So I love to sew. But then I came out of college and I came back to ET, although I was single, and I was like in 3 hours of finish. I came home, tell you the truth, what happened. I came home and got a job. Got so far in debt, I couldn't go back to school. The thing that when I was going home with my different one, they had real nice things and whatnot. And I said, I'm gonna buy this for my mother. Stay out in the country, you didn't have things like you had today. So I ended up and started working. I ended up so far in debt. My dad said, baby, I said, Papa, I'm gonna go. And I ended up that I bought my mama a refrigerator, bought my mama a stove. I couldn't go back to school. But later on, integrated came on. What was that, 1960 what? I don't know.
67.
67, nah.
8.
I forgot. But when they was integrated, then I decided to go back and finish my degree in homemaking. So I went back to school and started homemaking and everything. And I got married in 1957, I forget. Got married in 1957, and I went back to college. They offered me a good job there working as, what was it? They gave me a job doing something. Can't think now. But anyway, working on the line, supervising the line.
That's the full line.
Full line. And then I got married in 1957. And then 1950 we got married in March. And so then I still was working part-time at the college. And then my brother-in-law had a set of twin boys, and she was 14 years old. And I would look at those two boys, they was, they wasn't taken care of. And I had gone to the hospital. I got sick, I got pregnant, I lost my baby. And then I came back, and then I saw these twins. I told her, I said, why don't we just take Billy and Terry? That's what their name was. And so she said, oh, yeah, I can go ahead and keep them. So I took Billy and Terry. And I kept them. They were about 6 months old. And we were with them. So she decided she was going to go to Love. That's where she came from. And I said, okay, go ahead and live it, but don't care Terry, because Terry was sick. And she said, well, I'll come back and get Terry and Billy. I said, okay. So as years passed, she came back. I think about 2 years she came back. She got Terry. But Barry was sick. She couldn't care of Barry. So she said she'd come back and get Barry, and then come back and get Barry.
So you're waiting.
And so then I'm going to school now at ET, married in homemaking. And then Barry was about 5 years old. He was so small, I knew something was going to happen to him. And my mother-in-law said, she said, if Barry ever gets sick, it's going to be from fall on his head at the concrete down in the project. He ended up having seizures. And that let the God. I tell you the truth, I never had nothing hurt me as bad as that. And my husband, he was a very smart man. He worked at ET. He was head of a plumbing department. And he said, Opal, Barry is meant to be started. I said, no, you're not. He said, Opal. And I said, oh my Lord. I said, well, I'm dropping homemaking. So I went into education, so I know how to take care of him. And then they gave me a job over in Greenville at the Opportunity Center, working with handicapped children and working with him. And he lived until 212. I lost him in 212. He was 52 years old. He had seizures, and from seizures on, but he did able to go to school, finish on that special education course, and live a normal life until he failed to mess up his back. And from that back, in 210, he stayed in the nursing home and the hospital. So then after he passed, well, my husband passed. My husband passed in 202. And no, I didn't. 204. I'm talking 204. He was head up the plumbing department at ET, and I was supervisor at the nursing home in Greenville, Texas. I was there for 10 years. So anyway, we worked together and taking care of Barry had his own apartment every day. And then I had a stepson, Opal Pannell, who's here with me now. He's 71, and he finished with an outstanding basketball player and everything. Actually got into trouble, and so he spent 10 years in prison. Got a lesson though, and so as time grew, everything. In 1974, I believe when our remote came to Commerce, and we met our remote, and we were talking about the North community, and we didn't have sewage.
No sewage lines. Outdoor plumbing. In 1973.
In 1970, I'm sure 1970. I think, yeah. So we had a friend named Douglas Stiggles. He was working at the library, and then we had lots of college students go to St. Paul. Go to Mount Moriah Temple Baptist Church. We had like 300 students going to, and they found out Douglas was talking about, man, this guy from Illinois, and the other was from Portland somewhere. And they said, oh man, we don't even have no sewage, so we still got outdoors. They said, we don't believe it. He said, follow me and see. So then there's told the IRO. He came, he said, oh, what's going on there? I said, we don't have no sewage. I said, but it so happened that Ben Blackman, this chief named after Ben Blackman, they right there in the house right there. He worked for the city. So he was able to get sewage. So by him getting sewage, my dad always said, he said, Doc, we're gonna get surge too. So we had surge. So then later on, I remember, so we need to call a meeting. Y'all men tell me y'all ain't got none. No, I remember, so we gonna beat the, he said we gonna write a grant, we gonna get some surge around here.
Mm-hmm.
So that Monday, we called a meeting. The North Carolina meeting at Mount Moriah Temple Baptist Church.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we organized, called the North Community Club meeting. We got together, we had meetings, we elected officers, president, secretary, treasurer, and all. I remember, so I'm gonna write a grant. Oh, I don't know, you can't get that grant. Opal, I told him, no, you ain't gonna get that. It's a watch it. So anyway, we said, oh, but how many people? I said, oh, you know, that's a good question. I said, if we get these people, rest these people to vote, and if you run for the city council, I said, we can get it over. He said, Gary, we can't. I said, yeah. So we registered, what, 200 something people registered to vote. Okay, so it's coming up election, so we're gonna put our vote in. We got our vote in on the city council. He stayed there for 15 years.
Wow.
And so we had meeting and everything, and he said, we can write this grant. He said, but we gonna go from house to house and see, make sure that everybody gets served. And the teacher said, it can't be done. I remember saying, oh yeah, it can be done. We gonna get it. And anyway, we had the lady from Paris come and write this grant. We got the serve. And my other good friend was named Lee Harrison. Oh, she was great. So I was talking, well, we got everybody got sued. Now they were so happy they came and thank Mr. Moore and everything. We got this grant. And I was like, we're gonna build some new houses too. And first she said we're gonna remodel some houses. But then we get our foot on the inside. Then the next 2 years he said we're gonna build some new houses. First year he built 10 new houses. And those with low income automatic came first. And so he got that grant. And later on, we just come to church. We come to church, but we had to wear overshoes, and we put our overshoes off at the door and go in. I was
no good streets.
I was gonna get a straight too. And one thing I liked that the cops were really backing us up. The president always really backing us up. So then we had a banquet at ET, and we sold tickets, $5 a ticket, and each person was sponsored. So we raised $1,600 set a ticket, and then we had different speakers and whatnot, and we got that going, and I must we gotta get these streets fixed. We got the streets fixed, and then I remember saying, well, God, he said, we're gonna get somebody into position, man. Who we ain't got no black person on the in the post office, nothing. Oh no, Bob Joe Penny was the first black. No, Kinchelo was the first mayor Carol in Commerce, and Bob Joe Penny was second. And then we said need somebody to work at the bank. We got in position. We voted on that. I forget the girl name. She was at the bank. Need somebody at the telephone. We got that. And when we had council meeting on Tuesday night, we were turning it out. We were there turning it out.
Oh, wonderful.
So with that, it came back around. Mr. Moore said, I'm gonna do one more thing. I want to build 10 more new houses. And he did 10 more new houses. So there was a lady named Miss P.E. Fletcher. And she was, I guess we was about 70, close to 70. And they said, oh, you should be in Fletcher no house. She don't need no house. What's your big house? She ain't got long to live. I almost said, we gonna build her a house if she don't stay in but one day. And did not know all those 10 houses we built. She was the only one came back and thanked us for it. It's about like that man in the Bible. The only one that went back and thanked him. She was so beautiful and everything. So she lived, I said, oh, she lived a long time. So after we got out of after I was in that 17 years and everything, 1 year, 2 years he didn't have to run. Because wasn't about run against him. And so he was just, I remember one outstanding person in Hunt County and everything. So we were, and then after that, after I was working in Green at the nursing home and whatnot, and then they fired me at the Green nursing home. I was so glad. I was so glad. I was so glad. I love, y'all don't know what it's like when you got 102. We had 100 residents. They don't like to say patients. That was my responsibility. Make sure they get the food, right time of food. Sometimes I wake up, somebody called 4 o'clock in the morning, Miss Penny, I can't go to work today. My baby said, I had to get up and go. So many mornings, they called, oh my Lord, I had hit that highway. But God was so good to me that I never had a flat the night and the morning I traveled. One time I had a flat, I would come at the door, get in my car, and this guy drove up and changed it for me. That was the only thing. But on my way home, I was so, it seemed like a bird had lifted up me. But anyway, I thought I'd get some rest. A little lady called me to work at Honey Grove. But my first job, being a food supervisor, was in Cooper, Texas. Miss Lady, that was something. Miss Lady, I'm telling you, I got calls from a different name. There I go, that nigga so that nigga so. And they all said, hold your peace up because I said, I'm holding my peace. And at this time I was trying to get my degree too, you know. And so finally, one guy that was in the nursing home, he said, I told his dad go there and nigga supervisor. I just said, I remember what they said, hold your peace. And that very guy, I had to make a report of all the residents. They don't like to call them patient residents. And so I made sure they got the right kind of food. What they supposed to regular food, diabetic, get low salt. And, that was tough to work with at the time. And then they had a change. If they had a regular and you give them a low salt diet, they call it to the state of it. Oh yes, oh yes. Well, they called on me. Oh yes, oh yes. They put a sign in on the bulletin. If they didn't get it, they had charge to call the state.
Wow.
So anyway, I that was no problem. I worked with that. I got called with several times, but when they came to that, one lady said she had a soft diet, and I gave her lettuce and she said, lettuce is something else. I said, no, I didn't give her that. I gave her carrot and I had to prove that's what went out on that table, a soft diet. But through it all, I went to Honey Grove after. I stayed because I felt sorry for the residents. And I told my cook, I said, y'all make sure y'all get those people what they're supposed to have on their tray. And I said, and we had to check each meal. I had to check, make sure they ate their food. If they didn't, you have to make a report to the office, you know. And but I think the worst thing I ever heard in my life was a lady. I was getting out from work, and I stopped by and talked to her. She talked, and she said, well, Miss Opal, they brought me here to die. No, they didn't bring you here to die. That's so true. Lots of children bring their parents there and drop them off and leave them. And one Christmas, and I told my employer, I had another good that works with me. He's real good. And I told Ben, I said, Ben, I said, can we do this Christmas down and let all the employees off? He said, OP, we can do it. I said, okay. And then some of them checked out the pants down together. But then one time, a lady checked out her pants and got home with the dinner. I looked up and she come back and said, oh, we went out and ate a hamburger. I was so mad, Miss Lady. I was so mad, I didn't know what to do. To carry out and eat a hamburger for
Thank Christmas. Thanksgiving.
That's okay. Anyway, I had a good, all my work was good, very good, because one thing we always had prayer. We had to pray. Whatever it takes to do, we prayed about it. And I told them, you put out good, good come back. You put out bad, bad come back. Miss I said, that's what we want to do. I said, we want to treat everybody like you want to be treated. And that has to be good. That had me see the girls and all. I'm working out, but that hunter girl, oh man, let me get out of here. Let me get out. But anyway, they had seen it go, but what happened, I had worked there 5 years, and one evening, I woke up, I was on the other side of the highway.
Oh my God.
And I said, now what happened here? So I went on, and then the next couple of weeks, I did it again. So I went and I told my nurse then, I told, this is it. And because, I don't know, I was saying blackout, whatever, I said, but I'm getting off the road. So I got off, and then I stayed at home a while, and this man came and begged me, oh, just work 1 year. I need you. So I started off with $8 an hour, $9 an hour. I said, no. And this was at Wood City. Oh, Lord.
Was that Smith?
Yeah. Oh, Lord. Oh, boy, it was just something else. That I make out the grocery list and everything. And I know how to make out a grocery list. I know how to cut that budget. I know one time I missed my budget 1 penny. I was so mad at that woman. I didn't get that $100. Because as you measure, they have so much you make. And I like 1 penny. She said, make you very call next time. I said, yes, ma'am. Thank you. But anyway, I worked in Wood City. That's where they fired me again. That's when we had all what you call this arson stuff here.
Oh, you're here in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that from that leaking from that factory. Yes.
Yeah. And IMO, we got together, we talked about it. He said, I don't know. He said, we're gonna check it out. And so anyway, I already checked it out, and then he had some people come and check it out. And so we got a man that was involved, that really owned this plant, Mr. Bob. And so they got together our emotions. We got to get us some lawyers. And so at this time I was still working in Wood City. And I said, Opal says, I can use it as a part-time. I said, yeah. Now I think about it, when I get off of work, I'll think about it. And so then I worked part-time, and I filled out so many forms. 5 o'clock, I was crazy. Oh, people was telling the story, and we got this lawyer out of Dallas. He died a couple of years ago. What was his name? I forget his name. Anyway, he was our lawyer. People come from everywhere. You know how it goes? Prayers everywhere. I stayed in comments, so. And we sat down and filled out this form. But this was, I was sitting beside the lawyer and everything, and we just filled out the form. And one guy came to sign up. He said, where you live? So. Well, I just got out of penitentiary. He said, you just got out of penitentiary? How you qualify for the money that you got? Oh, we had a big come. And so anyway, we was filling out piece some of you know how that goes. Everybody was coming. So.
Right.
And so when when they paid some off, and I got my check. And so I went downtown, Wood City, to cash my check. We can't cash your check. We have to mail it in. You can't cash. You could come, leave your check and come. I said, oh no, give me my check here, Miss Lee. Give me my check. I said, I can go to a bond where the check was made and get it cashed out. And so the people downtown at the bank called the administrator and said, Miss Pannell came up here with a $16,000 check or something. And did you know she fired me?
Oh my goodness.
when she came back, was passing that check that Thursday. And she said, Miss Pennell, I'm gonna have to let you go, so and so. I said, well, thank you, Miss Lady. And so my friend worked at the beauty shop, at the white lady beauty shop, and said this administrator told this lady, oh, but came in there with $1,600. She didn't need to work. I let her go. So this black girl said, oh, I said, yeah. She said, she let you go. I said, no. She said, yes, that's okay. Thank you. But anyway, I was over quit. Then I just started working with Mr. Bo. We worked around about. And then we had a few more things we want to do in the North community. And then he organized the NACP. We sued again. And with this, we was able to, in the project, the people couldn't have electric, only thing could you electric for cooking. They could have no
electric heaters.
No, wash. They could have a wash machine. They could have no dry. They could have no dry.
Wow.
No dry. And what is something else they couldn't have when they stayed in the. So I most of we gonna stop this. So we put a lawsuit on. When they got through, everybody in there got a dry and everything else, and something else. Oh, people didn't have nowhere to park the car. We got that suit. We got a place to park the car down there. And neither laundry didn't have no. We suit. We got that. And so I almost said, what are we working on now? I said, we don't know. We have meetings. We stay up y'all sometimes 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, discussing
working
the need,
the helping people
in the community.
And the meal on the wheel, it started from the North community.
Wow,
that's where it started from. They take the rest of it. That's where we started feeding people at our house. And that's where it started from. Meal on the wheel. And so then, we had the city council. We had this. What's his name? But anyway, he was on the city council too, but he didn't stay long. But Ira kind of got sick and, kind of. So next year, when he lost or whatnot, he said, I guess it's time. I said, yeah, it's time for you to come out. Everything. But we changed streets. I got the list in there, but
you can show it to me later.
Sometime we changed the street. People that named their own street. Bill T next says, this is Harrison Street. This is John Street. I both said, no, we called into the office to see what these streets were named. And they some of them had names, some of them they done made a name themselves. So we said we just named to the people, some of the outstanding people in the North community. So we what's your name? Run the grocery store. We named one after Charlie Smith. We named one after Charlie Smith.
Oh, okay.
We named one after Harold Cham.
I remember him.
Yeah, we named one after him. And A.C. Williams. We named him. It was something that we named A.C. Williams. It's one more we named. What was it? Oh, the other Martin Luther King.
Oh yes, I've seen that one.
And so, Sergeant Ross, we named it. Sergeant Ross, we left it like a word. But after we got all that name set up and whatnot, and we just started helping people that really need help, and helping people go to college and whatnot.
Oh, wonderful.
So then after Ira got sick and everything, well, people started just dropping off and whatnot. And then we tried to, when we got ready to organize again, somebody to take it out name, and somebody else had a name and all this.
Oh my goodness.
And so, but when we first came here, they called it the what you call it? Oh, wait a minute, they had a name for it. Dump, they called it the dump.
The dump.
And then the next was called the hole.
I remember the hole.
The hole. Well, we changed that hole. That's where the North community come in at. We changed it to North community. Where you going? I'm going down in the hole. What hole? We ain't got no hole down there.
I remember that word.
So we said, let's name it North community. So we had a meeting with the president at ET and whatnot. So the president wife got up and talking about the hole down there. So my good friend Miss Harris said, wait, hold it. It's no more than the hole. It's named the North Community.
Ooh.
Oh, God. But we have, ET was good to let us have a banquet after they been arranged with us, and we have put people in the office and whatnot, you know, and so when everybody just was passing on, we just dropped it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the young people not here to keep it going.
He just lacking everything that's not in church. People's leaving him. We have 4 sisters leave. We lived down in 2 months in here. And from May up until last week. Rose here, with my best friend Anime, and then Rose and Louise. We had 4 ladies just like that. And so, you know, when we everybody, don't be looking at me. And then you know, you met Livera Henry, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I knew her.
Not him. He teaches at the college.
Henry.
Let me show you him. One second. Can I? And listen, her mind was clear as sharp. And she told me the history, and I don't know how come dumb dog didn't write all the stuff she told me. And she told me where the Brigham came from. That the white man bought them, and they had to write his name, Brigham. And she said both then they were letters, Lettuce. But then and during that time they divided them. They was going, if you were fat and healthy, they divided, but when you're small, you just had to take, anybody had to take your liver.
Wow.
And she was talking about how they would sew and run about and do things, and they said keep them, the white people know what they was doing, and they would write a note and put in a thimble, and that's how they would get the message to them on different things. You know?
Communicate, so keep them from figuring out. Wow.
And then she said that so many times that they would work in the house and whatnot, and they would give them what left over and whatnot, you know. And she said, if you were skinny, you kind of had a hard time being placed under, because they let them big stout people.
So they can work.
Yes, right. And John Ribbon found Anita, and she said that was our second cousin.
Wow.
And he was the founder of Needhamville. And I should have gone there, but she don't do.
But you're telling us a lot, so we have John Brigham, so we can keep this history going.
Yeah.
So this is good. And tell me more about the school, St. Paul's School. What was it like?
St. Paul was an A school, and like I said, we had a black superintendent. And we went to the 12th grade, and we had like I said, we had history, biology, and chemistry, shorthand, and what makes it so bad, Betty. I never forget, when I went to Java Christian College, you majored in homework and you had to take chemistry. Well, when I was in high school, I don't need that chemistry. I ain't gonna take that chemistry. What I need it for. And that first thing hit me when I went to Java.
Wow, chemistry.
I flunked the first year. I thought by now if I had been on table chemistry, I would have flunked it. But that's what happened, you know. And then I learned about the old folks back in those days when you was in the 12th grade and needed to finish. And we started picking cotton about the last of October. And school started in September. Well, they let the seniors go on to school, and so they could finish and get their education. And I remember one time Mr. Washington, he was teaching us history. He said, y'all, let me tell y'all one thing. Y'all get all y'all can. Because it's gonna come a time there ain't gonna be no cotton chopping. There ain't gonna be no cotton picking. I saw G.C. Walker, what you talking about? He said, Brooklyn, let me tell you. I said, what? they gonna have something kid of cotton. You don't have to chop it, and then they're gonna have a cotton piece. Then they have it.
That's true. That's true. They got cotton gin. Now, this is so exciting. Tell me about going to college, because a lot of African American people did not go to college.
When the most popular college back in there was the Fairview. That's what most of the children went to Fairview. And I had a niece. Was the first black went to ET and got her degree. Beverly Wallace. And they are on her. They are naming the library after her this year.
Really?
She's the first, and she was real smart. And when she finished school, when she finished high school, and I stayed with her mother most of the time. We all stayed together, you know, her kids. And her mother married my brother, and so she says, I want to go to a ET. And we didn't have no typewriter. We went and stole us a typewriter. She could type. And she typed and wrote to Dr. G. Wrote the letter. And he wrote back. He said, we're not accepting nobody now. He said, go to North Texas. North Texas, you can go to school there. She wrote back to us, I don't want to go to North Texas. I want to go here at ET. So anyway, we got a chance. She got a chance to go to ET. She was the first black girl later to finish ET.
Wow.
With a BS.
Wow.
And then several things that we worked on when ET was in operation. They helped out the black people a lot. They gave them a little job and whatnot. And they had lots of cooks in ET. They gave people a part-time job. And at this time, they had a girl dormitory. They had a cafeteria in it. And they still there today. And so working at ET was a good experience and everything. And so then I dropped out of something, came back to ET, worked there after I got married or something. And I worked at ET. But ET sold out to another company, ARA.
Okay, I remember that name, ARA.
And so like in ARA, they were some smart people. They didn't waste nothing. They believed in saving everything. And Gene Houghton was staff. What you call it? No. What's the call of man for them with the food department?
Catering?
No. Because of a minute. But anyway, he was over the food department. And but anyway, he was real good and teaching us how to cook and how to cook. And he also had a big banquet. First time I ever seen him take a pig and decorate it. Did you ever see that?
I didn't see the pig, but I've been to some of the banquets.
And they had the pig. And he said, OP, he said, you gonna decorate? I said, no, I'm not gonna decorate the pig neither. He said, yes, you are. And they said, go pick him out. Now, it's about like that. And what we did was roasting.
Oh, okay.
Roasting and taking all the hair off. And then wop them off real good, the grease real good. And put an apple in his mouth. but he was done, you know. But we didn't let him get too done, just done. And that was his display on the table. I really allowed stuff how. Then he showed us how to carve a turkey. Oh man, it was great. And I learned a lot of that. And but they were cheap. They didn't want to pay you nothing. Told they were gonna give us a raise one day. Y'all gonna get a raise. We were looking for that raise. Guess how much it was?
How much was it?
Penny. I said, wait a minute. I said, y'all. I said, this ain't gonna make sense. I said, let's walk. I said, Mr. Jim is the head department. I don't care. I said, y'all listen to my name. That was A.C. Williams. Right. Then I said, let's walk. A penny? What you gonna do with a penny?
Wow.
I said, let's walk. We walked. I got that. It's at the cars now. Where we walked. Left the chef. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
The chef.
Chef.
Chef there by himself cooking.
Wow.
And we walked. We walked on the home.
Uh-huh.
And the man came, tried to give him come back. You know, he's gonna give us a raise. We ain't gonna go for a penny. That was so hard. And so anyway, the next day, the same day, he came and got. Guess what? I was the last one to hold back.
You have well. How much was the raise eventually?
I forgot. It was a nice raise. I think like about 25 cents.
Oh, but that's not bad.
Yeah, it was nice. That was so. It was my friend. The men was cussing, fussing with that pit over there. But Gene House was something. But anyway, now right there. Then I. That's when I left and went into Rebecca. I left and finished and went on and got my. And food supervisor.
Oh, okay, food supervisor.
And I left ET. I left ET there. I never come back no more.
Oh, okay.
I left ET there.
Well, you touched on it a little bit. Give me more information about some of your. How did you handle the negative experiences of segregation and being discriminated against?
All right. I'm trying to. Let me. It went up real well. It really did. Didn't have no problem with it. Anyway, when it passed, they closed down this school down here. And everybody went across town. And it operated real good. Wasn't no confusing or nothing like that. But then that's when I want to go to ET. I'm not telling them a lot.
Okay.
I want to go to ET. See how they teach it,
right?
And teach it how they teach the student. That's,
right.
That's when I went to ET.
Okay.
And it was 1964.
64. Okay.
Yeah, 64.
I read it.
I think I read 64.
Okay.
And now I've come to I can't say that I used to. I'm 91. That's when I went back to ET.
64. Okay.
And worked on my degree, and that's when I had my baby, Barry Wayne. And then after he got sick, I dropped out. I was looking at they had wrote on my degree plan and everything, and I had done my student pattern and everything, but I just, it's something I just forget it, you know. But anyway, that's when I dropped out last thing, because I'll make sure that he had everything, you know, and I understood and carry him to school.
Okay.
And one day, I was getting ready to carry him to school, and I go pick him up, and I was asking him something. I said, "Baby, how old are you?" He told me, and that's he told me. And so one night, he had his book. I said, "Baby, come straight and let's read." He said, "Okay, Mom." I said, "Come on now." And then at this time I was working a full-time job. Who was working? I was working somewhere a full-time job. And Barry, I said, "Barry," he just reading. I was having sleep too, you know. And so coming, I went to him one day, and I was walking there, asking questions. He said, "I don't know." Then I said, "This boy's not getting his lesson." So at night, I said, "Come on, baby, let's get this book." I said, "No, come on." So the next day I went, I said, "Mr. Lester," I said, "Barry ain't learning nothing." She said, "He can read." I said, "No, man." I said, "Barry can't read." Barry, I said, "Mr. Lester, Barry cannot read." What he was doing, when they called on him to read, he tell the other boy to read first, and then he memorized what the other boy
memorized it.
And
a lot of kids did that.
She said, "I said, I know you didn't read." But anyway, he got thrown a grade behind, which it bothered me, because at this time he wasn't the only one wasn't reading. Lots of them kids wasn't reading, but I was listening at prop. Opal put him in that special education. I should never put him in that special education class, because he lost all his friends. But he was determined to finish. He finished through this what you call it?
You call it an opportunity center?
No, you call it well, anyway, that's how he finished.
Okay.
He was determined. My mama finished. He finished, I was just letting his cap and gown and everything. He finished and whatnot. That's the main thing he wanted to do was finish school. And lots of things he couldn't do, but I know one time he was trying to write a letter to something. And he couldn't smell fish, so he just got fish at the end of it. He was, those kind of kids, let me tell you, those kind of kids are very smart.
They are.
They're the smartest kids, because when I was working at the opportunity, there's some smart kids, and I tell you what, don't work around too long, because you bring them home with you.
You will.
I tell you. I tell you, but one little boy just loves him to death. He just, I just feel so sorry for him. But he just got sick, and he just could pick it up and everything. But that was 6 weeks, about 10 weeks I worked at with the opportunity center. Okay. And I learned a lot from that. You have to be careful. Because just like when that lady I talked to that night, we had the best time. When I went back the next day, the woman had died that night.
Oh.
You have to be careful. And when I was telling my employer, I said, y'all be careful how you treat people, you know. Because this one lady, she had lost her job, and she came out there looking for a job. She told Miss Tash, I don't care where I work, just give me a job. Miss Tash opened this job so she could set up the trades. And so she had lost her job downtown. So she set up a trades, and so it was long by November. She had a son who was a doctor, and she wanted to go see her son. And my employee said, Miss Pannell, you don't let her go. She just got in yesterday. I said, oh, baby, we can do the whole work. Let her go down. She said, no, Miss Pannell. Hold it. I said, if you want to get off, you go get off. I'll let you off. Anyway, I let her off to go to see her son. Her daughter taught school there in Greenville. When she went to see her son, got sick, and come find out she had cancer at the brain.
Oh, Miss Opal.
That kid, that guy. And I told her, I said, you see what I'm talking about? I said, now, I've been hurt, had never let her go to her son. And first thing she said, send me back to the nursing home, show her about the nursing home. That's what I said. And I couldn't go see her, but she died a couple of weeks. She died, but oh man.
You said be good to everybody.
Yeah, I tell them all the time. I tell them at church. I said, you have to be careful how you treat people. That's Sunday school is about love, and that's what it's all about. We got to love one another. That's what's wrong with the world today. Me, my. You got to learn to share love.
Yes.
You never know. You never know. You never know. This is my thing. Just wait on time. Time is a fortune teller.
It is.
It's a fortune teller. And I've been down after I lost my brother. And that's one thing made me work hard in the nursing home. He was in the nursing home, and he was diabetic. And he died with malnutrition. Oh, that killed. And it was in Dallas. What happened, the aide would bring his plate to him. And said, here's your dinner. And he just looked at it and gone. That's for breakfast. Well, they come pick it up. But the food supervisor should check that.
Should have every plate.
Okay, 12 o'clock, huh? Bring him your plate. And I'm gone. And with the sugar, too. When they called and told me they had sent him to the hospital, he was man. He looked like a skeleton. And the lady next told me, she said, he died from the malnutrition.
Oh my goodness.
And when I got up there next time, I said, y'all make sure we feed these people. That hurt me so bad. It's hard if somebody die like that.
Oh, yes, it is.
It's hard. And I tell you something else, you have to be careful in the nursing home too. Make sure the person get the person the right medicine.
Oh, yes.
That happened.
A lot.
You got A and B. The one supposed to be getting medicine to A, and she gave it to B. That happened.
Yeah, that happened.
That happened.
You take your mask off?
Yeah, that happened right there in the nursing house. I have seen it. And that's when they fired me, and I kind of tatted right back on them. And I was so happy when I got home. Then I forgot myself together. Now I called back and wanted to speak to the administrator. And she says, well, she busy right now. She ain't got time for me. Oh, so she busy right now. And I said, okay, she don't have to speak to me. We're going to be in there within ACP. And she said, oh, wait a minute, here you. But I'm telling you, the boy, the man is a regular, everything you go at.
Yeah, yes.
It's you know, working in there, it's a lousy. It's a lousy dirty regular.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm telling you.
So like you experience a lot of job discrimination.
Yeah, man, yes. I'm that type of person that this is right. I'm gonna stand. I don't care what nobody said. I'm gonna stand there because lots of people at that nursing home died from lack of nutrition. You know, it's like no. And I tell you something that's happened too. And I told the minister, there was a couple that had a farm, and these black people used to pick cotton from, and they had to come back to the nursing home. They had to put them in the nursing home. Boy, they treating the people like dirt. And then Miss Taggart, that's my minister, she was from here too. And I said, Miss Taggart, I said, dang, she said, oh, hell, what they doing? I said, Miss Taggart, they ain't putting the right stuff for them people, before they can eat, before now, they ain't doing it right. And you know what? Guess what they did? They taking them people stew and put it on their plate. And that's when we hit the sit. I said, you better fall. If you don't, I'm calling on you. Well, girl, you know that man, we the pick kind of how do it. I said, it's a different story here.
Right.
They fought, boy, they do some terrible things.
They do.
Oh, man.
I want to ask you about what gave you the most joy. What's some of the activities you participated in?
I love to play basketball. That's my career. I love basketball. I play basketball. But I love to sew. I got a sewing class now. Quilt sewing class. Yes, I love to sew. Now I love to cook. I cook pound cake for different ones. But when I was working with at the ET, lots of ladies were lots older than I was, and I was telling about that. I said, y'all pick up y'all trade. I said, when you get old, you have something to do.
Right.
This, I said, because I got something. I said, I can sew and I can cook. And I said, you need to pick up your trade something. And they said, what's called Jane Beard, she was 92, and she and I worked together. She died about 4 years ago. She said, Opal, you right. I said, yeah. I said, now what you can't do this. She said, shut up, get on out of my room. But I always had stuff. We worked in church, that's another thing. I worked in church a lot.
Yeah.
I went church is just, since they had this stuff and word now, we just got a chance to go into our church last Sunday. But I was the mission. I love to work with the mission and usher board. I work with the mission, you know, I love to work in church, help people, and my mother, she was a mission. She was a holy. You know
okay.
You know about the holy.
Yes, I know about it.
And see, my oldest brother, he was a holy. And boy, he used to get shouting and whatnot. And then my other brother, he wasn't a holiness. He go to church. And then my other brother, he was in service.
Okay.
He went in service in 43. And when I was going to school at Jarvis, he got out of service and went to school with me for about a couple weeks. He didn't stay long, no thing. He went back in the service. And so he just said, and he made, I never forget, me, I made a little check, $37 a month. That was a whole lot of money back in the day. And so, anyway, he passed in 84. I lost him in 84. And my other brother, my baby brother, my oldest brother died in 59, baby. He was 82. And my baby brother was working in Dallas for the city,
Mm-hmm.
and drive one of them roads or whatever it was
Bulldozers,
down, and got too close to a ditch and fell over.
Oh.
And I lost some money on that deal because he had everything real to me.
Uh-huh.
And my husband kept on telling me, power of attorney, when they die, they ain't got nothing to do with it. Because my niece was his power of attorney. Because he was a singer. Well, he had to, stay with a woman. But he was the type of person who make every penny count.
Right,
And so that Sunday he came over here. He stayed down. He came over that Sunday. He says, "Oh, P.S. what?" He said, "I went to John Church." I said, I already John Church. You just need to dedicate your life, And so that was the last time I saw him.
Wow.
And And so he had everything to me. And when they came looking for me to pay me for the accident,
Right.
did nobody know who I was?
You've been here for years.
Yeah. He came, the people from Fort Worth came to accident board and came looking for me. And June Towers. June Towers said, "She died in Needhamville. I mean, you go to Needhamville and they tell you where she is in coming." And they said, "We don't know where she is." And I was laying across the bed.
Oh my goodness.
And the Holy Spirit said, "I tell you what you do. Get up, get your brother's Social Security number, head in, call into Austin." And I called into Austin and told where I was. The lady said, "Miss Pannell, anybody call?" I said, "No, ma'am." She said, "I'm gonna give you a number to call into Fort Worth." And I called. She said, "Well, 3 people have been trying to get this money."
Wow.
And I don't know what she called. I said, and then she said, and something else she told me. Well, anyway, the lady called me. And I was finna go on a trip to Portland. And so my husband, "Go and see if I can get your little lawyer." So I went up and got John Kendrick Smith. I mean Smith, he was Smith. He said, "Why?" I said, "Well, my niece was," he said, "when they died, the power of attorney shot him."
It does.
I didn't, well, he tried to tell me that. But so anyway, when I came back, and then I went to court and whatnot, and if I had went then, when I would got 78,000.
Wow.
78,000. It was 78,300 something.
Oh my goodness.
And so anyway, so my lawyer told me, them 2 years, you
After 2 years.
But then he went on file. I think I got like 40,000. I think 50,000.
Oh, okay.
I forgot that.
Okay.
I thank God for that.
Miss Opal, sound like you don't mind calling the state. You don't mind calling NAACP.
Let me tell you one time, we were working at the college, and they didn't want to put us on vacation. And we're Ray Barber, give me that, get that tab right. I said, "I'll tell you what you want." Well, I'm gonna type this letter out and I'm gonna send it into Austin. I typed the letter out and sent it to Austin. The man called me that night. Miss Penny, what's going on? Well, he didn't come very well. He says, "Okay." He says, "I'm over to the stage motel over there." He said, "I'll be there in the morning," and everything. So my other friend, I said, "Right now he gonna be in the morning." He said, "I got to go." He came in. "Ooh," Mr. Smith ran. Said, "Mr. What's up? Y'all that's the state people." Me we were about to know what was going on. We didn't say that. So what I'd been like, they were paying them people 75 cents an hour, and some was getting $1 an hour. We all supposed to be getting $1 an hour, and that's what I was fighting for. And so, anyway, that night or the evening I got home, that evening the man called. He said, "Yeah, I checked the book. I saw some was getting 75 and some was getting." He said, "Well, we're gonna take care of that." Oh, yeah, then another time. I showed me I called in. I called in a minute.
And you called NAACP. I read too
Yeah.
on situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we went to Fort Worth one time, and they had chose me for the outstanding, and I like to work with them. They were, you know. But as so many dropped out and went up on that prize, that who was it?
It's up to 30 now, isn't it?
No, 25, 50. It went on up.
Oh, okay.
Went on
Okay.
up, and then till Mr. Moore was ready, got that going. He would never hold the office, but he'd get somebody else.
I used to do the office.
He worked under them.
So you got the NAACP going here in Commerce.
Yeah, he got going. In Commerce.
Okay.
We had a chart.
Okay, yeah. Okay. As you look back over life, what advice would you give the youth of today?
First I tell them, get Jesus first. Step. And then think about your education. Think about other people that you travel.
Okay.
You know, don't think about me. Think about somebody less fortunate than we are.
Okay.
That's what our Sunday school lessons are love. We can't operate with that love.
That's right.
If you got that love, you can make it, you know. And I went to school under Rivera Henry. He was teaching to be a missionary.
Okay.
So I went on that message and everything. I spoke 1, 2 times. That's enough. I'm not a speaker.
I'm looking at all these notes I wrote. I wrote so many notes. Let me ask you about. I just see so much. You talked about the plumbing. Butler College. I've never heard of Butler College. Where was that college?
Butler comes in town.
Okay.
That's where I was playing basketball at Jobs and Butler saw me play cotton at Jobs. They offered me a trip. That's what I was about. Because I didn't have any money. I didn't have any money. I remember when I first went to Jobs Christian College. I'll never forget it. I had one dress and 2 pairs of shoes. I'll never forget it. And I can remember, then you can work your year. Then your school will be already paid for.
Oh.
You just work at the library.
Okay. I was gonna ask that question.
Yeah. So that's what I went down for. I'm gonna work a year, and I still could play basketball. And at the end of the year, then I could go to school free, just give me a job in the library. But I had a good old friend from Denver, Texas. He said, Brigham? I said, yes. He said, think about it. He said, you're losing a year. And he said, you don't wait 3 months this summer. He said, why don't you ask them to take those 3 months and what it costs a year for you to go to school and divide it and see how much you would have to pay a month. I never forget it. $7.89. I never forget that.
Wow.
So I called Mama. I wrote my mom and told her, and I had to have a free. I think $60 something. And I looked up that evening, that morning. My mom and my little baby brother bring me that month for me to go to school.
Yes. Wanted you to go to school. That's wonderful.
Yeah, so I went on to school for a year. And I enjoyed it. It was nice. I had lots of friends, met lots of friends and everything, yeah.
I was thinking about that basketball scholarship. But I didn't think back then they wanted ladies to play basketball.
Oh, yes. We went to, in college, our first game was, we played Houston. Houston didn't, back in those days, Houston didn't have a gym, you know. I mean, they had a gym, they didn't have dormitories.
Okay.
And so we down to play Houston. And where else we went? We went somewhere to play basketball. San Antonio, we went to San Antonio to play basketball.
Okay. Lots of experience. I have one final question. How do you want to be remembered?
Love.
And love.
This thing about helping somebody as I go along. That's right. I got my own program about. I don't want all that remark. I don't need it. The life I lived, I'm supposed The life you live, people.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, so don't need no remorse. I got my little friend. I know she won't get up and talk. Let her. But that, and I told her, I said, don't be serving nobody after. I let everybody go home. I did.
You know they want to stay around and eat now. Everybody wants to stay around and talk
But
and eat.
I was talking to my granddaughter, the one that she's a LVN, and she's the one that had, and she was, that's why I didn't hurt nowhere, cause she been working, I guess, I don't know, let's see, she been in that, about 20 years she been an LVN, and she loved money, she worked 90 days, and when she come, and she have a girl and a boy, and her son teaches school at the high school here in college, and her daughter's working on her doctorate degree.
Wonderful.
She make them get in there. So her husband is a Amanda O'Reilly.
Oh, okay, wonderful. I look back and I'm seeing you came from a family that believed in education, believed in learning a skill. You just mentioned the schools you went to. You encouraged your family members to go to school.
But that's one thing about my family. I was sickly all the time. I was 7 months old. I was 7 months old. And I was small, tiny, small, And there was mom. Let us stay here and cook us some beans and come, back in those days. And so when I finished school, they told me I marched that Friday. I was in school that Monday morning at Christian College.
Wow.
And they feel like I would never be able to do anything. I would never be able to pick cotton, chop cotton. That's what they're looking at,
Because you're too small.
And they looking at me, and I was sick there too. And they look at me get my education. And all of them. I buried all my brothers except one. I buried all of them. My brother that was in the service, 7, 8, 12 years or something. And he drank and ended up having this what you call cirrhosis of the liver. And so he stayed. He never did marry. He stayed with one that had a little girl, Jeannie. So anyway, he stayed with me all the time, and so sometimes he drank that wine. I said, "Oh, see, you gotta get off that wine." But now, he was an outstanding basketball player. He was top basketball player. Anyway, he got real sick, and he's in the veteran hospital, and they said to him, "They need to come on over. I don't think he'll pull through." So I went over there, but he pulled through, and so he got up and he said, "I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to go down to the office. I forgot what office, the ministry, some kind of office, and sign up." He's called, "If I die, you can join my service connected. I want you on my." I said, "Oh, y'all, go on do it." So I went on down there, went to 2 places, and signed up. I didn't say no more about it. And he died the next year or so.
Okay.
So Johnson picked up at the funeral home. I had always made arrangements, and so I came my friend with when that last go round, and he began to call Papa. And I told him, I said, "Maybe they ain't." He said, "Oh yeah." I said, "He ain't gonna let you know." But anyway, so Johnson picked him up, and we buried him. He had one daughter, and her mother had died, and he was taking care of her, and so he had $120 on him, and she wanted the $100. He said, "I'm not gonna give you the $100, baby, because you take the $20, because I need the $100." So anyway, so when he got sick, I called her. She was wrong then. And I said, "Jean," I said, "Your dad's really sick. You better come and see him." But she's mad at him because he wouldn't give her that $100. But she came, looked at him, turned around, and went on back. So she says, "Albert, did he have anything left?" Jimmy, he hadn't anything left. No, he didn't have nothing left. And So my niece, she said, no, we always, she didn't work, she just take care of Ben's Lab, and she helped take care of all Sweet and his finance and everything. So she said, why didn't Jean? I said, I don't know, Jean, leave her alone, don't worry about it. So anyway, I had seen her, I saw her about 4 weeks ago, first time I seen her.
Wow.
She called, well, she was at the hospital over there, at the veteran hospital. And I had a friend to go over there, and she was talking, I got an auntie living in Conway. She said, what's your name? She said, tell her hello. And then I had my sister. My sister had 6 children. And she had cancer. My mother had cancer. Oh, I forgot to tell you about it. My mother had cancer. And her grandson had cancer. And the day they buried her grandson, that's the day she had her breast taken off. And she had, the first one she taken out, and they told her she gonna have to have treatment, you know, my son. So then she got her hurting, and they had to take the urn off. And so my sister and my niece, my old sister got killed, and so my sister and my niece, that was when she had the operation, and so the doctor came and said, where's the Brigham family? We were sitting at that, we said, here we are. And he said, well, we did all we could for your mother. And we said, you know, she's a daughter woman, you know, and everything, she'd been paralyzed. And before he turned around to go back, the other doctor said, we pulled her through. And I'm telling you, things like that, you be so shocked, you don't know what to do.
Wow, pulled her through.
Pulled her through. And so, anyway, so we sitting out there in the waiting room, and Bobby said, my niece, she heard something hollering. And Bobby said, that's Mama. I was like, you know Mama ain't hollering that quick. So the nurse came through, did you hear Brigham hollering? Mama was too
thanking the Lord, thanking the Lord.
And so at the same time, she buried her grandson that day. So I told them, I said, y'all go when I stay with Mama. So at 5 o'clock, the doctor came out and checked her. He said, Vivian, how you doing? She said, I'm doing nicely. Because they had told her she was going to be paralyzed. And he said, can you move your leg? She said, what leg you talking about? Yeah, I can move my leg. He said, would you move your leg? He said, you too tough for me. And my mother lived 3 years after that.
Wow, what, isn't that remarkable?
But she, and you know, she said this, she just told us her life. I don't want y'all to die, because I'm going to be laying out there so pretty. I don't want y'all to die. And she was so pretty I couldn't die. She was, it just, I don't know, she was just, she had her friend had bought her one of the yellow necklaces. And it was so hot, they had a yellow cat. And my mother was kind of bright, she kind of like a Mexican, I had a little Mexican. But she was so pretty I couldn't even cry.
Wow.
Things.
Miss Opal, as I summarize, I'm gonna give you the last word, because I'm excited to say all the things you went through. You started out at Neelanville schools. You graduated. You went to college, several colleges. You were supervisors at nursing home. You worked at East Texas State. You were active in your community. You helped to get the sewer lines here. You registered over 200 people to vote. I mean, you were just active in your community. Many, many, many awards and achievements. I'm just excited to be in your company. Now, I'm going to give you the last word. How would you summarize everything?
Oh, Miss Lady. So give God the honor.
Okay. Give God the honor.
Yeah, I just thank God. Thank y'all for doing a good job, you know. And life will go on.
Yeah.
But all remember, to love one another as God loves us.
Yes.
And treat like you want to be treated. Because it's supper time.
Okay. Yeah.
and it's
Okay.
later than they think.
Well, I appreciate you and thank you very, very much.